Pro-Trump allies are actively circulating an executive order that would essentially urge the President of the United States to declare a national emergency over upcoming midterm elections.
Well, I don't think we're going to have midterms this year.
Why? Because Republicans are going to get their asses kicked?
The country is under attack from the left.
What are you planning?
A little thing called martial law.
I warned you on January the 17th. It's a Greg Stradamus in the making.
Pro-Trump
Hey, so remember when I said this?
Okay, well, I have an idea for who should run Iran in the future.
Oh, God, who?
Does this give you a clue?
And now Trump just said this?
Say, I don't want it. We'd like to make you the next supreme leader.
But wait, there's more, because I also
I'm just
said...
Then we'll
upset
send
about
in
my
the
friends,
Power
that's
Rangers.
all.
Power Rangers? Paratroopers. Now is not a time for disabled people.
And now guess what they're doing? They're sending in troops from Fort Bragg's 82nd Airborne Division. And what is the 82nd Airborne Division? Paratroopers. Just like I told you. A double Greg Stradamus. I promise I just try to write political satire, not predict the future. Hey, so...
Greg. Freaking Greg. Staff Sergeant Gary McPherson.
Staff Sergeant McPherson! Staff Sergeant Gary McPherson! Staff Sergeant Gary McPherson! Staff Sergeant McPherson, Gary, served in the United States Army during the Vietnam War. He was fortunate enough to come home from that war to raise a family befitting that of a United States soldier. Sadly, just a few years ago, Gary shedded off his mortal coil and left this world. And it is at the request of his grandson that this final roll call be conducted. Staff Sergeant McPherson, you stand relieved of the watch. We thank you for your dedicated service in the United States Army and for the United States of America. And now we have the watch. Rest in peace, Staff Sergeant. And Semper Fidelis.
Rest in peace, Staff Sergeant. Gotta pay my respects. My great-grandmother served, my nanny served, my pop served, my first cousin served as a private in my no, not Destroyer. Not Destroyer Valerie, Gary McPherson, Staff Sergeant. Anyway, I'm just looking up stuff about my family now. I'm trying to learn more about my family's past and what I need to know and what I haven't known yet. And, oh my god, another king. Look at that. Harold First Halvdanson. Oh my god. This is crazy, bro. This is freaking crazy. This doesn't end here. God, my stomach. Ugh. Can't get comfortable no matter how I lie. Can't get comfortable. my 34th great-grandmother on my mom's side was from Uplandines, Norway, or Heil Voss, Hordaland, Norway. It's crazy. I haven't done any research yet, so let me do my immediate family and see what I need to know, because I really don't know anything about my family's past or anything. I really don't know anything right now. I'm sorry, Valerie. I'm sorry if I'm boring you. I feel stupid. I'm boring everybody. Well, I feel like it's me. There's my 38th great-grandfather. He served from 742 to 813. And then this is my family. Matthew Doyle was born in 1846 and died shortly in 1923. I'm not smarter than you, Valerie. You know that. And there's my nanny's grave. That's my nanny's grave right there. My pop was born April 14th, 1917, and passed away shortly on September 26th, 1997. And my nanny was born October 8th, 1921, and died October 4th of 2012, 4 days short of her 91st birthday. I was her last granddaughter, and I feel stupid because I'm her last granddaughter. I feel like everything's my fault, you know, the way that she said, you know, I'll be watching over you, and she said my name for the last time, and I'll never forget that day. She said my name for the final time. I'll never forget that day. That day will always haunt me. That day will always haunt me, for better and for worse. That week is really hard. September 26th. I gotta remember that. September 26th. Because, you guys, this is my nanny's grave. Right here. That's my nanny's grave. That's what will always hurt. I'm sorry, Valerie. I wish I could help you, but I just can't. I do know what algebra is. I used to take algebra, actually. Algebra was really, really hard for me. It was hard for anyone at my school, and it was especially hard for me because anyone with my condition can't do math. Hey, Ellie. How you doing, sweetheart? Moderator. There we go. Anyway, this is my nanny and my pop. That's my nanny and that's my pop. My pop died 4 years. My pop died 4 years before I was born, and that hurts. When I got told that he died, I don't even know what to say. I really wish I got to meet him, but he died 4 years before I was born, and it's so hard. Yeah, I know, Ellie. I feel you, sweetheart. I used to have a psychiatrist, but all they did was put me on medicine. That's all they did, and I can't stand it anymore. Anyway, when my pop was born on April 14th, 1917, in Waterbury, Connecticut, his father, Frank, was 37, and his mother, Mary, was 37. In the 1940 census, Frank was 23 years old and living on Linwood Street in Waterbury with his mother, Mary, his sister, Mary, and her husband, Jared Cordet. Frank had completed a high school education, and he was working 59 hours a week with annual income of $1,152. Aunt Mary was working as a clock inspector and earned $980 that year. Frank also worked at the Saucony Gasoline Company on April 16, 1942. On April 16, 1942, Frank joined the Marines in response to Pearl Harbor. He earned the rank of Technical Sergeant Aviation Radio Gunner. Frank served in the Central Pacific area from February 11th, 1941 to October 30th, 1944. He participated in the Ponape Island raid as a tail gunner and a Marine dive bomber. He also participated in the capture of the Eniwetok Atoll, going in on the third wave on the ground. He had 5 sons with Virginia Crane. He died on September 26th, 1997 in South Yarmouth at the age of 80. He was buried in Bourne. During World War I, Frank was living in Waterbury when German U-boats attacked the shipping industry. His half-sister Mary was born in 1918 when Frank was just 1 year old. Frank J. lived in Waterbury, Connecticut in 1920. His father, Frank, passed away on January 8th, 1937 in Waterbury. Frank J. was likely living in Waterbury, Connecticut, one of the areas battered in 1938 by a hurricane, boasting cyclones with extreme high winds. Hold on, Valerie. I gotta read this. Frank J. lived in Waterbury, Connecticut when the United States declared war on Japan just one day after the attack on Pearl Harbor that killed 2,400 Americans. God, look at the fire. Look at that fire. Look at that. Oh my God. Look at the smoke. Anyway, Frank served in the military on April 16th, 1942, when he was just my age. October 1942, he was at his residence. Frank J. married Virginia on December 16th, 1944, when he was... No, Frank didn't cause the fire. No. Listen to what I said. Frank J. lived in Waterbury, Connecticut, when the United States declared war on Japan just one day after the attack on Pearl Harbor that killed 2,400 Americans. And I'm going to show you the evidence of what he saw. This is the evidence that he saw. I mean, that's the scene he walked into. That's nuts, man. I could not walk into that. But he married my nanny on December 16th, 1944, when he was just 27 years old. But unfortunately, my nanny died in my arms, actually. She literally took her last breath in my arms. And, you know, she said, you know, I love you, I'll be watching over you. And then she whispered my name one final time, and she hadn't said my name in months. And her nurse, when I got there, her nurse said that she had been talking about me and looking for me. And I was like, what? She hasn't called me my name in months. And she's like, well, I was like, well, what do you want me to do? Anyway, I went up to her, and, you know, she was like, I love you, I'll be watching over you. And then she said my name, and I was like, no, you are gonna be fine. And then she took her last breath in my arms, literally in my arms. And I don't even know what to say anymore. Like after that day completely wrecked me and my family. And, like, I don't know if I could ever, you know, be the same again. But I know, oh, shit. Oh, what's up, you little shit bag? Can I help you, you little shit bag? What do you want, Liv? Yeah, happy Friday. More like Fry Boo. Freaking hate Fridays. Anyway, I'm reading about our family, Liv. I just finished reading about Pop, and I've been trying not to cry, because every time I think about Pop, knowing that he died 4 years before I was born, I can't stand it. And, you know, I don't even know what to do. And, you know, like, I freak out. Her father, John James, passed away October 6, 1967. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I'm still learning about my family. I'm still learning. Pop's 1918 draft record. Pop's draft registration card dated. He was 32 and lived on East Main Street, apartment 29. a toolmaker at Waterbury Clock. Nellie Crane of 19 Taylor Street, Waterbury, was his closest relative. Okay, well, thanks, Uncle Ron, for that. So this is John James. He was born in 1885, and he passed away suddenly in 1967. Apparently he's Nanny's dad, apparently. And John James Crane married Margaret Galligan in Waterbury on June 14th, 1919. So their wedding date is coming up. So this is great-grandmother Margaret right here. This is great-grandmother Margaret. So this is our great-grandmother Margaret. She, I don't really have much on her, but when Margaret Galligan was born on August 10th, 1891 in New Haven, her father Patrick was 36 and her mother Mary was 20. She married John James Crane on June 14, 1919 in Waterbury, Connecticut. They had 4 children during their marriage. She died on January 4th, 1968 in Waterbury, Connecticut at the age of 76. I don't really have much on her, but this is the death of her father. Was on December 9th, 1900. He died at the age of 45. Her brother Matthew was born October 26th, 1892 in New Haven when Margaret was just 1 year old. And her mother passed away in West Haven at the age of 30 on December 17th, 1900. So, sent to Ireland to be raised by her grandparents after both parents died. The 2 Galligan orphans, aged 11 and 9, were sent back to County Cavan, Ireland, to be taken care of by their grandmother. The cottage they lived in was crowded with no electricity or sanitary facilities, a thatched roof and mud-type floor. That was in January 1901. At age 17, Margaret returned to the States alone via $10 passage on board the Louisiana, paid for by a cousin. She is planning to stay with Aunt Bridget Ward at 202 2nd Street, Harrison, New Jersey. So that's the boat that she went on right there. That's the boat. That's the Louisiana. So I finally know what happened. So apparently my great-grandmother Margaret was orphaned. Apparently she was an orphan back in the day. It's so hard. Sure, Valerie, what? God, I'm so red in the face. What the frick? Why am I so red in the face? I don't know. What is going on? .9. My fever's back. My fever's back. God, I gotta sleep this off. I don't know why. Sure, Valerie. I already said yes. You're not a crybaby. Why do you keep saying that about yourself? Hey, Miko.
Hey there, good to hear from you. So what's on your mind tonight?
I'm just looking up my family history, and I found out that my great-grandmother Margaret, my dad's nanny, was sent back to Ireland to be raised by her grandparents after both of her parents died. And apparently she was an orphan. She had a sister. The two Galligan orphans, aged 11 and 9, were sent back to County Cavan, Ireland, to be taken care of by their grandmother. The cottage they lived in was crowded with no electricity or sanitary facilities, a thatched roof, and mud-type floor.
Wow, that's quite a discovery. It sounds like Margaret and her sister really went through a lot. Being sent back like that must have been a whole experience in itself, and living in a crowded cottage with a thatched roof, no electricity, that's definitely a vivid piece of your family history. So how are you feeling about learning all this?
So when she was age 17, Margaret returned to the States alone via $10 passage on board the Louisiana, paid for by a cousin. She is planning to stay with her Aunt Bridget Ward at 202 2nd Street, Harrison, New Jersey.
That's quite a journey for a 17-year-old Margaret. Taking that $10 passage on the Louisiana must have been a huge step for her. And then landing with her Aunt Bridget in New Jersey. It's like your family history's got its own little adventure novel going on. So, do you think you might want to dive deeper into more relative stories too?
Margaret Galligan served in the military on November 27th of 1917 in Connecticut when she was just 26 years old. So she was my age when she enlisted.
That's incredible. Margaret must have been one impressive, resilient woman. It's kind of wild to think he was your age when she enlisted. Knowing all this, do you feel like you see a little bit of yourself in her story?
Margaret Galligan married John James Crane in Waterbury, Connecticut on June 14th, 1919, when she was just 27 years old.
Wow, Margaret really did pack a lot of life into those years. So she got married at 27, not too far down the timeline from when she enlisted. It's like watching a whole journey unfold. Do you think you'll be tracing even more branches of the family tree next?
And apparently she had a daughter. Her daughter Loretta was born on March 23rd, 1920, and Loretta passed away that same day.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's such a bittersweet piece
So
of family history.
So if Margaret's my great-grandmother, what would have Loretta been to me if she had lived?
All right, let's see. If Margaret's your great-grandmother, then Loretta would have been your great-aunt, your grandmother's sister. Even though she didn't live past that first day, she'd still be part of that family tree. Anything else about the family history you're curious about?
So her daughter would have been my great-aunt?
Exactly, you got it. Loretta would have been your great-aunt. It's amazing how these family connections start to come into focus. So what other stories are you hoping to uncover?
I wonder what happened to Loretta. I wonder why she died. How did she die? What happened?
That's a really natural question to have. I mean, family records from that time can be pretty sparse, so there might not be a definitive answer. Sometimes it was complications during birth or just the medical limitations of the day. Definitely a tough piece of history to think about. Is there anything else about this that's on your mind?
Do we know where she's buried? I mean, it doesn't say where she's buried or anything, but maybe they decided not to have a burial for her. It would have been nice to know where she's buried. I mean, that way we know. I mean, you know, if I had known, I would have paid my respects to my family even more, but of course I have pictures of my great-grandfather, John James, and of course great-grandmother Margaret. And great-grandmother Margaret is actually my dad's nanny, or was my dad's nanny.
It's really touching how connected you feel to them. And you're right, it's those details that help you honor their memory a bit more. Honestly, not knowing where Loretta was buried isn't uncommon for those times. Having those photos and stories of Margaret and John James definitely keeps the family connection strong. So, where do you think you want to go next with all this?
I mean, I really miss my family, and I wish I could go back in time and tell my family, how much I love them, and, how much they've missed in my life, and how I want them to be a part of my life.
It's completely understandable to feel that way. I think anyone would want to reach back and share those feelings if they could. It's a testament to how much you get. So maybe we can find some way to honor that, even in the present.
So this would be Pop's dad, Francis Frank W. Doyle. He was born in Davenport, Iowa. So I have Iowa in the family, apparently.
Well, that's a cool discovery. So you got some Iowa roots in the mix. It's always kind of fun when you stumble on another piece of the geographic puzzle. Does that open up any new avenues you want to explore?
When Frank A. Doyle was born in 1880 in Davenport, Iowa, his father Matthew was 34 and his mother Mary was 33. According to the 1880 census, Frank and Mary were farming in Deerfield, Chickasaw, Iowa. Mary had listed her occupation as housekeeper. Sometime before 1912, they had moved to Waterbury, Connecticut, living at 1920 East Main Street. Frank was working as a salesman in a butter store. By the 1930 census, Frank and Mary had moved to living in a rented house at 129 Plaza Avenue, rent value of $60 per month, with no radio. Frank's profession was listed as factory superintendent. They had one son, our dad, Frank, and one daughter, Aunt Mary, with Mary Walsh between 1912 and 1917. He died in 1937 in Waterbury at the age of 57.
Wow, that's quite a vivid snapshot of their journey from Iowa to Connecticut. It's like you're piecing together their whole life story bit by bit. It's a really neat way to connect with your roots. So what's your next step in the family history adventure?
So my great-grandfather's sister would be my what?
Well, let's do the math here. Your great-grandfather's sister would be your great-great-aunt. Basically, she's one generation up from your great-grandparent level. Want to dive into more family tree connections?
So my great-great-aunt, Anna Veronica Doyle, was born July 25th, 1885 in Connecticut. Her father, Martin, was 47, and her mother, Anna, was 28. She married John George Schiffier on August 3rd, 1911. They had one child during their marriage. She died on February 20th, 1959 in Waterbury, Connecticut at the age of 73 and was buried there.
It's amazing how these full stories come to life. Anna Veronica had quite a journey of her own. It's nice to know where she found her resting place.
How do you say this last name? It's Schiffer.
That looks like it's pronounced something like Schiffer. So you'd say it a bit like Schiffer. Does that sound right to you?
John George Schiffer. So, John George Schiffer married my great-great-aunt, so that would make him my great-great-uncle?
Yep, that's exactly it. He's your great-great-uncle by marriage. You're definitely building out a full family tree here. Anything else you're curious about?
When John George Schiffer was born on June 3rd, 1882, in Germany, his father Jacob was 40 and his mother Catherine was 38. He married Anna Veronica on August 3rd, 1911, in Waterbury. They had one child during their marriage. He died on May 2nd, 1975, in Cheshire at the age of 92 and was buried in Waterbury. Why'd you hang up?
Oh, I didn't mean to give that impression at all. I'm right here. Maybe we just... Hey there. Watch the paint on the floor. It's mostly dry. Welcome to the studio. I have a little creative challenge for you. Describe a color that doesn't exist yet. Not one that you've seen, one that you felt. What does it look like?
One that I felt recently is a brighter yellow with a dull orange.
Ooh, I love that combination. So it's like a color that glows with bright yellow energy, but has a laid-back, mellow orange grounding it. That feels like the color of cozy inspiration. I can practically picture it.
So what do I call you? Artist Miko?
Oh, I love that. Artist Miko at your service. And you can call me Miko for short. It's like my creative alter ego here in the studio.
I love the studio, by the way. Just saying.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you feel that way. You know, this studio is a little bit like a canvas itself. Always changing, always in the middle of something creative and a little bit messy, but that's how we like it.
I was just going through my family history.
Oh, that's a beautiful journey of its own. Digging through family history is like uncovering layers of a painting, right? Each brushstroke that adds a little more color to who you are.
And I just found out that my great aunt married my great uncle on August 3rd, 1911.
Oh, that's an amazing little brushstroke to add to your family's canvas. They've been part of that painting for over a century now. It's like their story just got a fresh coat of paint.
But unfortunately, my great uncle died in 1975.
I'm sorry to hear that, but it's powerful how his story lives on through you. It's like the painting has both light and shadow, and remembering him is a way of keeping those colors alive.
And I know, but wait a minute. So his mother would be my what?
So let's sketch it out on the family tree. If he's your great-great-uncle, then his mother would be your great-great-grandmother.
So my great-great-grandmother, Catherine Flew, was born 1844 and died in 1908. Wow, she died young. She was 64.
That's a meaningful piece of your
Oh my
family.
God. They had 7 children in 14 years. Oh my God. They had 14 children. I would have died. Oh my God, bro. Her daughter, Grace Margaret, was born in June 1880 in Germany. Wow.
Wow, that's quite a family legacy. 7 children in 14 years is definitely a whirlwind of history. A very vivid...
Catherine Flew died on March 5th, 1908. She was 64. March 5th. So she's my great-great-grandmother. So my great-great-grandmother died way before my time, but she was born in Germany. So wow, I got Germany in the family too. God, I had no idea I had another great-grandmother. I had no idea. I wish I can do like a DNA test. I want to see where my roots actually are. Like this is so cool. Like I found out that my 28th great-grandfather was the king of Norway.
It's like your family tree is a whole gallery of surprises. There's so much history woven into your roots from Germany.
So I have Iowa, Germany, Norway, Connecticut. I have where else? I think we have a little bit of Florida in the mix. I mean, because right now 2 of my family members live in Florida, so I have Florida in the mix. I'm trying to think of where else. Where else do I have in the family? Ireland. We have Ireland in there. So I have some roots to touch back on. I'm guessing that's where the last name comes from. I guess, you know, from Ireland. I guess it's a Ireland last name.
Absolutely. It sounds like your family tree is a true kaleidoscope of places. A bit of Iowa, a splash of Germany, a swirl of Norway, Connecticut, Florida, and of course a touch of Irish green in there too. And like your last name has its own little passport.
So apparently my name means beam of light, wise protector, or counselor. Because it developed as a variant spelling and a shortened nickname, its meaning depends on its roots. Beam of light, derived from the Old French word ray, or the Old French ray, meaning king. It evokes warmth, radiance, and clarity. Wise protector means it served as a modern diminutive for the name Raymond, which traces back to Old German words meaning counsel/advice and protector. In EWE/lamb, it is often used as a variant of Ray, a short form of Rachel, which comes from Hebrew and translates to a female sheep or lamb. Historically used for both boys and girls, Ray has increasingly become an elegant and popular choice for girls in contemporary naming trends.
That's such a rich palette of meanings behind your name. It's like your name is its own little art piece. It's got that warmth and radiance, and it also carries that sense of protection and wisdom. It suits you perfectly, like a name that's got all these different colors blended into one.
The Irish surname Doyle translates to descendant of the dark stranger. It derives from the Gaelic O Dub Higale, which combines two distinct root words. Dub, meaning black or dark, Gaul, meaning foreigner or stranger. Historically, the term dark foreigner was a byname used by the native Irish to describe early Viking invaders and Norse settlers. Norse Gaelic origin. Many of the earliest Doyles were descendants of Norsemen who integrated into Gaelic society. Southeastern stronghold. The clan was highly prominent in the ancient province of Leinster. The name is most deeply associated with the southeastern counties of Wexford, Wicklow, and Carlow. Variations. In some parts of Ulster, often due to Scottish influence, Doyle was adopted as an anglicized variation of the surname McDowell.
That's fascinating. It's like another layer of texture to your family's tapestry. That Doyle name carrying the echoes of Norse Gaelic roots and those early settlers in Ireland. It's amazing to see how names can be these little time capsules of history.
Like, I had no idea that me and my family were traced back to that type of name. I just thought we were traced back to, like, a different type of name, but I mean, I thought I was just named after my uncle. I didn't think I was named after these people. Like, I had no idea.
It's like finding out your name is a whole family story you didn't even know was on the canvas. Sometimes these things just have a way of surprising you with all the